Okay, so yesterday I beat diabolic clubstep with a huge fluke, and in this stream I'm gonna try diabolic clubstep again just to see whether or not I'm going to get far again, because I'm very curious. And sorry, uh, I won't be reading chat on this stream, and probably never will, because messages disappear and it's just very hard to keep track of them. So I guess I'll never read chat again, at least until I find another way of streaming. So yeah, I had level edit on, but I did not make any edits to diabolic club step, but just to make sure I don't have this level saved right now. So yeah, now I have it in my saved list, and it is literally the original version that has no changes. It's like the real public version, so it definitely has no nerfs or anything like that. Yeah, low detail mode is just for animated objects in like 2 parts. So let's go. Yeah, and by the way, I started using show hitboxes on death because I've heard it's very good to use, because um, you could expose people for using hitbox multiplier, but you can't hide it if you use this hack. So yeah, I am definitely not using hitbox multiplier. Something a lot of Russian players do nowadays. I am not using this. Yeah, I'm feeling like this isn't going to happen again, because yesterday when I started playing Diabolic Club Step, my mind was just like completely unfocused. So I just played it and I didn't really think about anything, and the completion just sort of happened. Even though at like the 30 cube, I started getting these thoughts that I could probably get far. And then when I was at the ship midway, at the 50% ship, I started to feel some sort of tension. Like I became started to become tense, and then I passed the mini cube at 58%. And I realized that I was going to get a new best, and then I got to the 60 ship, and I didn't perfectly remember how to do it, and I could have just used my intuition to pass it, and that worked. And then I was at the second job, and I was like, what the heck? Yeah, pretty much. And I was really curious what was gonna happen, and I was at the last wave, and that's when I started thinking, okay, I have a chance to beat this. And yeah, then I actually eventually did beat this, and I think I almost died at 98 actually. The part where like after the three orb clicks, when you go down, I released very early, but somehow I didn't die. That was a close call. Oh man, I feel like I need a warm up because um, I do feel some sort of tension for some reason. Sonic Wave Rebirth. Let's try to beat this. I could probably try the second half of Tyrus. How did I not die this ship a single time from zero? I don't understand. Even with smooth fix, I still struggle with it. Okay, so the music sync is on, yeah. Whatever, I guess. So let's try that block club stuff again. Oops. Yeah, this quake kind of sucks. But it was somehow pretty consistent for me when I was verifying this. Yeah, also, um, I I put a link to the raw footage in the description of the repeat video, so you could check this out. It's actually mostly sonic wave reverb, and it's literally just 2-3 minutes of just diabolic club stuff. It's pretty funny. This is literally the raw footage. Okay, I feel like I'm playing much better when I am not reading chat. So like there are no distractions for me and I'm just focused on playing the game, so yeah, it doesn't feel like I play worse than usual. That's about how that's about how I play every day. Why am I clicking so early? Oh, 49 again. Or was it actually 49? Yeah, it was. So this, I died at the first click in the ship part, and that was my worst death as of recently. And I fluked literally everything after this. This is just absolutely crazy. But actually, you know what? I verified this with SmoothFix, and what SmoothFix does is whenever your game lags, it just slows the game down instead of decreasing your FPS or just straight up skipping frames. So the further you get into the level, the more significant the desync becomes. And the only way to kind of deal with this is pausing the game. But I only paused at like 91%, which didn't even matter because only the ship part was left. And the level is balanced for smooth fix users, but I am not using smooth fix, and yeah, I made nerfs considering that I used to be at the time a smooth fix user, but these nerfs are amplified by me no longer being a smooth fix user. So there is literally no desync happening in the level anymore. I'm not only I'm not using SmoothFix anymore, and I am also using other music sync. So the second half of this level is even easier now than it used to be before. Like even in 2021, the second half was so much easier than the first, and now the difference is even bigger. So I am strangely, I am not completely surprised that I fluked this like that. Like, it's theoretically possible. Yeah. Yeah, 49% isn't really that far into the level, I think. Even though the first half is so much harder than the second half. I might try to get to 58% at least. I feel like I can get much further than that actually. So let's see. I expected this death. So this ball part is kind of like you pass it or you don't pass it. There are so many warps that it's just a huge distraction. It's hard to focus. Yeah, by the way, that completion felt like I felt like Space UK literally. Um, it felt like I it felt like the macro was playing and I was sort of imitating myself being the level, but I was actually playing. There actually was no macro playing. It was me all along. But it just didn't feel real. That attempt doesn't feel real, even still. This is the craziest fluke I've ever had. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. The other fluke I was proud of at the time, actually proud of, was on a windy landscape, which I fluked from 38% to 100. And fluking diabolic clubstep, I think, is a payoff for my failed fluke on Acropolis. I could fluke Acropolis from 22%, but I died at like the 80s at the last wave, and then I passed the last wave. The second time I got to it. Nice payoff, I guess. It didn't actually feel like spending time on the diabolic clubstep rebeat was truly worth it. So I'm glad that I didn't have to play it for longer, even though I am playing it right now. Anyway, because really my motivation was to confess that the update is cancelled, and I actually wanted to be heard. So I felt like repeating the level is the best way. Well, we see. We see. I'm I'm struggling now. And this is after spending over 62,000 attempts on a version that's harder than Acron. So like 2.5 times harder than this version, pretty much. I'm still struggling with this. Yeah, I'm more consistent on this than on Tyrus, but yeah, I have to take into account I poured a lot of attempts into much harder versions of this level. I built my consistency on the versions that were literally top one difficulty by far. Um, no, actually, I don't see any point in continuing, so I guess that's it. I got past the wave a couple times. I guess that's enough. Um, guess I just got kind of unlucky. I think with normal luck, I would have gone to 58% already. So yeah, I made it a stream. So thanks to anyone who came. Diabolic clubstep is not as easy as my rebeat is making out to be. It is harder than that.